Hey everyone. Okay, so as expected, Oda put the whole kid Shanks situation to the side this week, but I do still want to talk about it a bit before diving into what happened in this chapter, because since uploading that review, another possible route has reared its head for how the Shanks situation could play out, and in my opinion, it's the most likely scenario, which is once Luffy arrives on Elbaf, possibly meets up with Kid again and has his reunion with Shanks, I believe we'll be facing down a three-way Davy back fight situation, and upon re-examining the whole situation on Elbaf, it does feel like all the requirements are perfectly set for this to happen. Because as it's all but, I think we can all assume it's all but officially confirmed that Shanks either has the last world poneglyph or knows where it is. So that in itself kind of creates the circumstances for a Davy back fight competition to occur, because anyone it'll be a situation where anyone who wins anyone who wins gets the others like gets the others road poneglyphs. So that in itself creates the circumstances for the competition. But also when you get down to it, for as much as Luffy said in the past that he wants to defeat all four emperors, he has the thing when it comes to Shanks, he has way too much respect for him. Luffy has way too much respect for him to actually fight him in the way he's done with Big Mom or Kaido. And honestly, depending on how the rules for this for pretty much this Davy back fight situation are set up, this would also I think be the best way for setting up the confrontations we've wanted to see, like Usopp challenging his father Yasopp to a sniper duel, and many other ways of effectively showing the Straw Hats' growth to the Red Hair Pirates, while also the idea of Shanks passing on the torch to Luffy and his crew. Like it feels like just narratively, a Davy back fight with the Red Hair Pirates feels just like the absolutely perfect scenario in order for this to go down. Now I do admit this is gonna be, if this is gonna be a three-way Davy back fight situation, I'm still kind of working out in my head of where Kid fits into this scenario and how he can be narratively utilized without him seeming like a third wheel. That's kind of my that's pretty much my only like concern with this whole thing is Kid just feeling like he's kind of off the side of this whole thing. But in general, just the idea of the Davy back fight coming back, a concept introduced by Foxy, a character no one gives a fuck about or probably remembers, is kind of exciting. Like just the idea of a Davy back, just saying that out loud in my head, a Davy back fight between the Straw Hat Pirates and the Red Hair Pirates, and obviously the Kid Pirates. It's just kind of an exciting concept. Also, because it's on Elbaf, I like how the idea that this Davy's back fight could very easily be set up as a Warriors duel just without the death angle to it. Although that does kind of make me. Although I do admit, one other thing I'll be curious about is if they're on Elbaf, are we going to get introduced to Loki, like the Prince of the Giants? Because that's kind of the one thread that still needs to be addressed, is who Prince Loki of the Giants is. That's kind of my thing about it too. But yeah. With all that said, let's talk about the major thing that happened in this chapter, which is that Shaka got shot down. And honestly, at first I thought it was Kizaru who did it, but immediately upon re-examining the page, before, we see the shot came from a gun barrel. Now, as far as possibilities of who this mysterious shooter is, I'm honestly kind of running on empty for ideas here, because when I look back on the last couple of chapters, the last time we did see Shaka was when he was with Luffy in the monitoring room in chapter 1075, and there wasn't any indication of either of them being followed. But one thing that definitely has been building up, especially from Vegapunk's assessment of the situation last chapter, is that there's a possibility of a traitor now from the outset. And from the outset, it could have been one of Vegapunk's satellites, but honestly, the only one, like one of his clones, I guess, but the only one who makes any sense, at least to me right now, is the Stasi clone. Because despite despite revealing herself as being to be allied with Vegapunk, there's something about her that still felt so unnerving, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's revealed to us that she's developed, that the Stussy clone herself is no longer even loyal to Vegapunk, and is developed her own sentience, her own will, and maybe also that a few memories from the original Stussy's times under the Rocks pirates got kicked loose, and now she's under the assumption that everything she's doing is in service to Rocks, and that Rocks is still alive. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I can't think of any other situation of how this might work exactly. Now, I guess getting into a lighter moment, we see the Straw Hats alongside Lucci and Kaku fight the Seraphim, and honestly, Zoro's short-term memory about how he recognizes the similarities between the Seraphim and King is really hilarious to me. I know there are some people who maybe are going to be a little angry about something like this, but honestly, it fits in with who Zoro is. When you get down to it, he's not one to remember all the little details about personal encounters. At best, he only remembers the broader details at best. So recognizing the color of the Seraphim's skin or hair color being the same as King's is not going to be something he recognizes immediately. Now, you can maybe make an argument that maybe there's a little bit of weirdness in how he didn't recognize that they had the same wings as King, but as far as everything else, yeah, his memory is going to need a bit of a jump start. Zoro's memory is always going to need a bit of a jump start for stuff like this. And again, I just howled laughing about how Kid and Kaku were just absolutely done with Zoro's bullshit in this chapter. Their frustration at his stupidity made it so much better to me. Now, I guess me personally, where I do take a little more of a personal issue with the whole situation with the Seraphim, in my opinion, is how the Straw Hats let themselves get so easily duped by the Hancock Seraphim. I don't know why, but something about that just really didn't feel like it worked. That is the part where something just didn't feel right in the whole writing department. But although on a much more serious note, we do learn that, yeah, the facility where King was being kept and found by Kaido did in fact belong to Vegapunk, who I guess we could say used King's DNA as a test bed of sorts to create the Seraphim. So it's nice to see we are filling in little gaps like that, and honestly, it does make me believe more that what Oda's doing right now, is he is setting Vegapunk up to have the key in order to counteract the Smile Fruits, because that is one on the long list of things about Wano's ending that did leave people, myself included, with a little bit of sour taste in their mouth. Is that it just felt like the Smile situation in Wano and with Killer just was left unresolved. And while it's not confirmed he has the cure for it, after all we've seen on Egghead Island, it's hard to believe that Vegapunk doesn't have the cure for it either. And I feel like, and yeah, it does feel like we are being that even though that it almost feels like Oda's aware he didn't address the whole Smile situation in Wano, so he's like, yes, I am going to address it through Vegapunk. At least that's kind of what it feels like right now. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst Control. Be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight signing off. Later, everyone.